Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here. We are on YouTube. We are on LinkedIn. LinkedIn today, as I'm playing with this over on Restream. And of course, if you want to be a part of Restream, let me know. I'll get you a link, and you can check that out. But being able to stream into multiple areas is always a good thing. Good thing. Good thing. Did I say good thing? I meant good thing. So I'm just checking a couple things here. Where is it? Where is it? There you are. There you are. That's what I want. Areas is always a good thing. Good thing, good thing. Yeah, there it is. Okay, perfect. We'll let that go. And we'll go from there. So if you want to say hi anywhere, feel free to do so. I'll try and say hi back like this. Hello. Is it not working? Oh, that's interesting. Let's do this. Try this again. Not let me do it. Why not? Well, that's interesting. Let's do it here. There we go. Look at that. All right, perfect. Now I gotta get on the AMs, and we will do that at the half minute. So 4 seconds. We are live everywhere. We are live, 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 live. Yeah, we'll say hello. All right, I have a minute left. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do folder, and we're going to do 250522. They say it's a palindrome, but when you do it that way, 25022 means nothing. Unbox day. There we go. All right, perfect. We got 36 seconds. 36. Now it's 32. Now it's 31. Now it's 30. Dang it! It's a lot of it. A lot of it. So that's not why that not working. Let's try that again. There we go. Hopefully it's loading for you guys. Says that it's good to go. All right. Says we're live. Let me just double check here. I think it's working. All right. Well, we're gonna move forward here and hope that you can, because it's not working for some reason. It's not working for me. Let's try it this way. I want to just quickly check this. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. For some reason, yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. All right. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine, Think Magazine. Put in the geek and you got me. And hopefully I don't look that red. Do I look that red? Do I? Come on. Come on. Go live. There we go. No, I don't look that red. Okay, perfect. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine, Think Magazine, put into Geek. And today we are unboxing things. And one of the things we're unboxing, you saw right there. This is, well, we already unboxed the Acasis. And this is a Thunderbolt 5 NVMe enclosure, so I can get some really fast speeds. But I was waiting for this puppy right here, and that's the Kingston Fury Renegade G5 SSD, which can go up to 14.5 gigabit transfer speed. Crazy. 14,700 megabytes. And this is a 2 terabyte drive, so that means video and everything like that. It should just go boom like that. It's not done. I'm like, whoa, hey, it's done. What do you know? What do you know? So, anyway, we've got a lot of great stuff here, and we're gonna start with some deals here because I saw some really awesome deals. Before we do that, I want to go over here and let you guys show you guys. That's over at geekazine.com. You saw that's the live page right there. There we go. And for some reason, it's not showing. I know it's working because I did an incognito window. Every now and then it does that. I did an incognito window and it shows it. But anyway, everything down here over at the live streams, Amazon Live, and of course you see all the links down here. But if you go over to my page, if you're over at Amazon.com/shop/Geekazine, I can say it. Here's how it works. You go to this page, you go to live streams, and you click on there. There it is. There I am right there. And then there's all the deals on the side there. They don't have the chat. You'll actually have to go to the live page to get to the chat. It's so confusing, I know. But if you navigating it, once you navigate it, it should be fine. But anyway, we've got a lot of deals, and of course you go to the all, you'll see all the deals right there. And the check this out, which I just added stuff, and then the lightning deals, which is what we're going to start on in a second. And then of course we're going to unbox a whole bunch of goodies here. So with all that said, with all that done, with all that everything, we're going to get started. We're going to get going because we got a lot to cover. A lot. And we're going to start with this puppy right here. I saw this deal this morning and I thought to myself, this is a deal. This is something that you need to take a look at. If you're looking for a business laptop and you need something to do some email, do some surfing the web, maybe connect up and do some remote work or anything like this, this guy, 73% off right now. It's amazing. I have many HP laptops. I don't have this one in particular, but everything in here is just amazing. Plus, you get some extras, and let me show you what it is. So, and there's two different versions of the deal. First one is this one. It's the HP 250R series. It's a business laptop with Office Lifetime. You get the lifetime version. You don't have to pay for it ever again. You get the Office Lifetime. You get Windows 11. You get looks like a DVD drive, CD DVD drive, just in case you want to play DVDs or CDs. Some people still do that. It's 15.6 inch screen. It's got Ethernet jacks to it. It's an i3 processor inside, Core i3 from Intel. This one has 64 gigabytes of memory and a 2 terabyte SSD inside, the one that I'm linking to. But there are 3 different models. The first one, which is this one, I think, maybe this. Anyway, this is the Intel i3 for $669, 73% off. You could also get the Ryzen 3. That's the same price, $669.99. So you'll see that deep discount right there. And then we chose the 64 gig RAM, 2 terabyte SSD. But if you want to go 32 and 1 terabyte, that's perfectly fine. You might not need all that memory for anything like that. That's 75% off at $579. So it's a deeper discount. And if you want to go down to 4 gigabyte of SD RAM, and I don't think that's available. No, it's not available. So we'll go here. That's the minimum. So, and it also comes with the CD DVD drive, Windows 11 Pro, and Office for life. So you just keep using it from there. Intel once again, Intel Core i3 laptop, and allows you to do a lot of other things. This is an awesome deal, and at 75% off, you cannot go wrong. If you're looking for a brand new laptop for your business, maybe for your kids in the upcoming school year, you want to give them something that's going to be solid. This is a nice graduation present too. Graduation's coming up. Birthdays are coming up. What else is coming up? Memorial Day is this weekend. I think, will you be able to get this? No, you won't be able to get this. It's not on a 2-day Prime, but you could get it and just kind of give them a gift card saying, "Hey, I got you a laptop." You could do that. You could do that. So anyway, you got a lot of option there. This is an amazing deal at 75% off, 73% off for the $699 with the 64 gigabytes and 2 terabyte SSD. So if you need a laptop for whatever, you've got one right here. And once again, a great deal. I love this deal. This is awesome. Some other deals. Let's talk about this. Where, of course, if you're on Amazon, you can get that Fire TV stick. Those Fire TVs, they're awesome. They're great to have a Fire. The best part about a Fire TV stick, one thing that I do with my Fire TV stick is I take it with me. Even if you get to a hotel and those hotels have the Amazon Fire and they say you just have to log in through the TV, I really don't like doing that. I'd rather plug in the stick, configure the Wi-Fi, and then watch the shows. That way, when I'm done, I just pull the stick and I'm out instead of, trying to figure out how to unregister from the TV or anything like that. So Fire TV Stick HD, it works on a lot of TVs, and especially TVs that don't have Amazon Fire to it. It's plugs into the back of the TV in the HDMI port, and usually the USB can just plug right into the USB port for power, which means that you have no footprint. You see nothing on the desk or anything like that. And then, of course, the remote will control that. And it's just great. And the best part about having the Fire TV stick along, having more than one over-the-top television device, is if you're watching TV, let's say you're watching something on Hulu or Max or Paramount Plus, and it gets really choppy or it just starts to act problematic, you can always switch over to another and then watch it from there. Especially when things are live, like on Peacock. If you're watching Saturday night, they just had their season finale, but if you're watching something live on Peacock, if you're watching something live on Netflix and things get a little bit choppy, you can go to the Fire TV stick and watch it there and be able to go in. And of course, you go within the infrastructure. You can always get your Paramount Plus, your Peacock, all that stuff through Amazon, and then it shows up in your Amazon Fire TV stick and all configured, ready to go. So great deal at $19.99. That's 43% off. And it is an HD stick, so that will get you up to 1080p. Not 4K, but they do have 4K options if you're looking at this. And this is the newest model of the Fire TV stick. So great deal right there from Amazon. So if you want to check that out, you go over to the link and just click on the link and go from there. So, all right. Got a couple people watching, I believe. Let's see what people are saying. Hey, how's it going? All right. Cool. Cool. I think that's there we are. Daniel's going, happy Thursday. Hey, everybody. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? Put your thing up on the screen, but apparently it's not working. Don't know why. But anyway, so Daniel, thanks a lot for watching here. And I can't see myself on the page because, like I said, it's weird. If I go into incognito mode, then I can see the video on Amazon on the page. So I just probably have to clear a cache or something like that. Always got to clear a cache. And by the way, if you go over to amazon.com/shop/Geekazine, you'll see all of these deals that I'm talking, these lightning deals I'm talking about in the category called Lightning. That's right here. So we have, check this out, we have Geekazine merch. That's the t-shirts. And I have a couple t-shirts you'll see at the end there. And then, of course, the lightning deals. That's that. And then, of course, each individual one afterwards, once I get this into videos, then you'll see that come up on amazon.com/shop/Geekazine. All right. Let's move on. We talked enough about Fire Stick. Let's talk about your portable power problems. You have a portable power problem. You want to charge your phone. You want to charge your tablet. You want to charge your refrigerator. You can. You can. And that's where Jackery comes in. These are portable electric generators. So you can plug them in, and then they'll charge up, and then you can go from there. You have options to plug in solar panels. So if you're out camping, if you're out picnicking, you can easily just get the panel going, and it's going to charge up the device here. 35% off on this Jackery at $168.99. And what it is portable generator. So I have a few of these. In fact, I gave one to a friend. He goes out to these conferences and actually sets up, it's like old beer cans and stuff like that. He's got a couple neon signs, and he borrowed one of my my portable generators because they charge if you want to plug in power. So he put that in. He set that down, and he plugged in like 2 neon signs and went through the whole show with this thing. I take this when I have anything that I'm filming remotely or anything that I'm doing musically. I don't have to plug into their power. I can plug into one of these and get battery life. Things like, this is a 293 watt backup lithium battery. And it is, if you plugged in a refrigerator, it'll probably be about 5-6 hours. Think about that, 5-6 hours. So if you plugged in something simple like a light or a fan or anything like that, or just charged your phones or tablets, then this guy will allow you to do that. You can plug in blenders. You can plug in stuff to make dinner. You can plug in TVs and routers and watch TV in the wilderness. I don't know, whatever you want to do. That's where this comes in. And the best part is emergency. Let's say there's a storm that rolls through your town and your power is out for 2-3 days. Something like this will allow you to keep things cool by plugging them into the refrigerator. Keep yourself cool by plugging in fans. You can plug in your wireless router and your internet into one of these things, because usually the internet cable is fine. And you plug this in, that's going to give you the power to run those devices, so you'll have Wi-Fi so you can stay connected and you can charge your phone. And then, of course, if you got a solar panel, then you can plug that in to charge the unit back up, or you could take it over to a friend's house and plug it in for a couple hours, get the charge in, and then bring it back to the house and wait for your power to get restored. That's what these are. And these are amazing. There's 2 of the versions here, and I'm going to show you both versions. You have just the Jackery, that's 35% off, but you can, like I said, you can hook up a solar panel, and this is just a simple solar panel, the Solar Saga 100 watt solar panel, and that brings it to 40% off, and that's, both of these are on Lightning Deal. So right now it's 39% claimed with the solar panel, and with just the E300, it is 56% claimed. And technically, you also don't need to plug in that specific solar panel. If you actually have solar panels from something else, as long as you have either, do these have the Anderson? No, these don't have the Anderson plug. They have the regular CAN input, I believe. Let me just double check here. Yeah, I think it's just the regular CAN input. So you'll be able to plug it in, and you can always get an adapter from an Anderson plug to the CAN. It's actually very straightforward. I have a few of them here. So you'll be able to plug it in and have something on the road. Have something, electric car. This is another thing that I've been thinking about. We bought an electric car last year, and it doesn't have great mileage, but every ounce of power that we drain from that battery means 1 less mile to drive. Well, if we have something like this in here, we could plug in other things, phones and tablets, and let that work on independent power while the car just drives. That's all it needs to. So lots of different things to think about when it comes to this type of power, but this is great emergency power. Or if you have a gas powered car, you run out of gas, This will keep you charged and going as you go through whatever, wherever, however, whyever. So anyway, that is that. Let's move on from there. So anyway, 23% off for that. Great deal if you're not into, if you don't have any power generators. This is something to have for recreation or for emergency. It's beautiful, and the price is great at $168 right now. I might just get one. One of the things you can plug into one of these is the Bougie RV 12-volt refrigerator. Now, these are awesome, and on Tuesday I showed you the 12-volt that I have. I actually have a couple of these, and let's see if one of my videos is right here. No, let's do that. There we go. So, yeah, I don't have one of my videos on this specific one. But anyway, the whole thing is that this is a portable refrigerator. Let's get over there. There we are. This is a portable refrigerator that allows you to keep things cold. It's just a refrigerator. I don't think this one's a freezer, but it comes in 42 quart, 53 quart, and 53 quart with a cover. Now, you got sodas you want to keep cool. You got that dip that you want to keep cool. You got mayonnaise you want to keep cool, because as it heats up, bacteria starts to show up, and then you're in trouble. So you can put your condiments in there, you can put your food in there, you can put your drinks in there, and you can go wherever you need to do. This is the 42 quart. This is 28% off at $299. You can try the 53 quart. Let's see if that's also on limited time deal. Yes, it is. $239 at 23% off, 17% claimed. And then this one comes with a cover, and the cover is nice because it allows to an extra layer of protection from the sun, especially if you're out on the beach or at a park and that sun's beating down. 22% off. Plus, it's got handles. I think you can wear this one like a backpack. Not 100% on that, but you can also put it on to, had two people carry it and make it easier, or however it works. But that's 22% off at $289. Like I said, I have a couple of these Bougie RV coolers, and they're great. And you can plug them in. They've got, I think this one, what is this? 12 volt. This was just basically the 12 volt. So you need something like the Jackery to plug that into. But usually a 12 volt refrigerator, you cool it up at the house, and then you plug it in. They'll most likely come with the car adapter like the other ones, I believe. Let's just double check. I believe it does. And then once you're there, you can plug it in, or you can just leave it unplugged and let it, warm up as it goes. But you'll have cold beverages, cold food when you get to your destination, whether it be the picnic down the street, or you got to go visit the friends or the family members, and you want to take some food with you, want to take some drink with you. So the Bougie RV 12 volt portable refrigerator, 42 quart, 53 quart, and a 53 quart with cover. Those are the options you can do from there. Great items to take a look at. So just checking everything here. All right, let's move on from here. I got my 3D printer back up and running, which is great. Here we go. I got my 3D printer back up and running, which is great. It's a Ender 3 V2. It's a great printer. I upgraded it with the silent drive, and then it's basically the updated board. It is a couple of years old now, and Creality created the Ender 3 V3. Which is just a new version of that. And that's where this comes in. This is 19% off at $186. You might not be seeing that on the thing there, but it is on Lightning Deal right now, 30% claimed. So there it is right there. Simple 3D printing. If you haven't gotten into 3D printing, this is a great starter printer. So it's got CR Touch. That's a little sensor that will kind of help you level the platform, so your prints work a lot better. The size is 8.66 by 8.66 by 9.84. So 8.5 inches, 8.5 inches, 9 inches. So you can make some pretty cool stuff. Like they're making some sort of sprite there, which if you look at that is not an easy thing to create with 3D without supports on there like that. So, but you can make a lot of cool stuff. A lot of the stuff that I have still in the studio, I've made with my 3D printer from these shelf things right here. Let's see what else have I made that you can see. I think that's pretty much. Oh, there's Deadpool. I don't know if you see Deadpool or if it's behind my microphone. Yeah, he's right there, right past the microphone. So things like that, you can create toys. I've even created items. Went into some CAD software, and there's free CAD software that you can go online. Software as a service that you can go online and play with and be able to create items which you can then turn into 3D prints. Just the other day, I created these little rubber nubs, which I used what's called TPU filament, which is a more rubbery filament. And they're making stoppers onto a bar because I had this table that flips up. And when I flip it down, I want to put it on these stoppers so it doesn't clink onto the metal bars. And it also levels it up a little bit more. So I created those with the printer. What else? I've created a lot of stuff with the 3D printer. So this is something that you can get into. And yeah, of course, friends that need stuff printed. Can you I printed something for my wife for her needs, and so we got that printed. I make promotional material for my band with the 3D printer. So when you come to a show, you could actually get something that I 3D printed if you throw a tip into the jar, which is pretty cool. So, and I'm thinking of some new items to add to that as I go. But anyway, these are things you can do with 3D printers, or you could just, have fun with it. And there's many different resources that already have 3D prints that you can, like that shelf system right there. That was a design that somebody just put up and said, hey, download it and put it into your 3D printer and print them out. And I printed out a ton of them. And in the old studio, you saw many, many of those. So, but the whole idea is that you can make stuff yourself, or you could make things that you need. Like I had a old electronic device that needed a battery door. And believe it or not, somebody else needed that same battery door. And I found it online so I could download it instead of having to build it myself. And I printed out the door and it fit perfect. And I was able to put a battery door on a device that I couldn't get a battery door for anymore. So lots of different ideas. And the other cool thing about these things is they become expandable. So you get to do this, that, and the other thing with them, add to them. I'm not sure how much on the V3, because I don't have a V3, but my V2, I could actually turn it from 9 inches high to 18 inches high just by adding extra at 20 by 20 bar. And going and getting a wider bed, I could go more than 8 inches. I just have to tell the printer that, hey, the dimensions have changed on this printer, and go from there. And the display, the firmware and the software inside, and the display, that's all you need, because you'll just be able to say, hey, it's this instead of this. I'm doing this now, and go from there. And if you have any questions on how to 3D print, feel free to ask me at any time, and I'll try to answer them as best as possible. So, all right. So that is the Ender 3, and it's 19%. I'm passionate about that. It's a great deal. It's a great deal right now. Great lightning deal. So, all right. With that said, with that done, we are going to get into here. So I'm going to hit that button right here. And I'm going to go through the general disclaimer first of all. Actually, I should probably do it on each product, because we'll be doing recordings for separate products here. So definitely ask questions while you're going, and we're going to work from there. What we're going to start with is this guy right here. And this is the Acasis. This is an 80 gigabit per second SSD enclosure. We'll just move the Fury out of the way, and then we'll unconnect the cable, Thunderbolt 5 cable. Now, early on, I bought the Mac Mini M4, and I bought the high-end version that actually has Thunderbolt 5, because it can go 120 gigabits, and that means that faster NVMe drives will really work. And if you got a Thunderbolt 5 drive, you can plug that in, and you can get some amazing speeds off of this. I've got another Kingston NVMe in here that only does 225 or 3,500 megabits per second back and forth, and the numbers didn't match 35. And just keep that in mind. It doesn't always gonna be matching up to the top speed that it says. But if you're doing speed tests, you'll start watching it, and you'll notice that, hey, this is perfect for what I need to do. And I record video, so if I was to record a 8K 60 frame video, it would be saving onto this drive, because it's that fast, and it's crazy. So the Acasis is a simple NVMe enclosure. Let me just get back over here. There we go. It can run, it's backwards compatible, so if you don't have Thunderbolt 5, you can get this and plug this into your Mac or Windows, and it'll work. It won't work as fast, but it will work, and it'll allow you to get what you need on or off this system here. It does have full vents, and there are fans here. It comes with everything that you need to add an NVMe. It doesn't come with storage. You have to add the storage, but they have everything that you need to put the storage into here. And then this one comes with a cable. It's Thunderbolt 5 cable, but you might need a longer cable. You'll have to get those separate. But this is just a simple, 1 foot cable to go from the Mac Mini to the drive, and go from there. So it's easy to open. There are no screws. You just basically pull this open. Could be a good or bad thing. I don't know, because of the fact that it's staying shut right now. But on this side, we have the Thunderbolt 5 or USB, or whatever you want to call it. Let's get this shot over here so you can see this a little bit better. And then we'll go, there we go. And we'll go like that. There we go. So over here we have USB-C, and then this button is to initiate the fan, so this doesn't overheat. And right now, with the drive that's in it, I did clock it at about 110, if I remember correct. No, it was 90. It was 98 at its best. So let's go ahead and open this up. And like I said, I did have an NVMe drive in here, so just basically pull and up, and there's the NVMe that I had, which is a Kingston 4 terabyte drive. And we'll just pull that out really quick. So take out that little rubber stopper, and that brings that up like so. And we're going to handle this with kid gloves. So I'm just touching some metal, so I've de-shocked myself. And I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to set this out. It's got to be very careful sometimes with electronics. Make sure that they're good. So now we're going to put in our new drive, and we're ready to go. So this is a little rubber stopper. You get a couple of these. It also comes with thermal paste, and I have the bag over here, I believe, because I need it. What do I do with it? Where are you? Where? Underneath there? No, it's not. Is it over here? It is not. Where did you go? I need the thermal paste option. Let me just check down in the box. Here it is. So inside the box here, these are thermal pastes and some extra nubs. And if your NVMe isn't long enough, that's what these little extenders are for, I believe. So you can kind of break them off and then put them in like so. But we don't need them. We are going to put in this new drive, and then we're going to paste it down. There we go. We're going to put that back on. Oops. Yeah, I grabbed it. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Get back here. Reground myself. So that is the drive. So I wanted to show you this drive first of all, because we're going to be putting something into this drive, of course. And let me just do this really quick. Let's get some, there we go, so you can see that better. All right, so we need this and we need all this, and we're going to come back to this. This is 20% off, by the way, at $239, so great deal to begin with. But this is brand new. And check this out. I just got this. First of all, I do have to mention that the cases I did by myself, but this NVMe drive I got from Kingston. They're not sponsoring anything, and they have no say in what I say with this drive. In fact, we will plug it in and we will test it out and see how that looks from there. But what this is the Kingston Renegade G5 SSD. This is a PCIe 5.0 NVMe. It's a 2 terabyte NVMe, and they come in versions of 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, and 4 terabyte. But what's cool about this, let me see if I can fix this a little bit. There we go. That looks a little bit better. There we go. That looks better. The cool thing about this is it can run up to speeds of up to 14,700 megabytes per second. Now, a lot of NVMe's, like the one that I had in there, this was 3,500 megabytes per second. You can do, on Thunderbolt 5, you can do, I think it's 6,000 megabytes per second. And that's, once again, that's really dependent on a lot of different things, and we are going to plug this in and test it out. But Thunderbolt 5, Thunderbolt 6, Thunderbolt 7, you'll still be able to use this drive and have great performance from there. At least in theory, because we haven't developed those Thunderbolt versions yet. And it'll be able to handle future upgrades. And I love it when I have something that can handle a future upgrade. So let's go ahead and pop this open. There we go. Pull this out. Nice and easy. We don't want to rip or tear anything or drop the NVMe drive. That's very important not to do. So there we go. And we'll just open it like that. And like that. I'm going to switch over to this angle. There we are. And there's the NVMe drive right there. Pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and pop it out of the little case here. There we are. And pull this out. So as you can see, and I'm holding it with kid gloves, and you should have some grounding strip on for anything like this. But to put this in the Acasis, all we have to do is take the little rubber thing and put it on here. I believe it's, yeah. Put it on like that, right in the hole here. We slip the end in. Oops, this is upside down. Just realized that. Do that again. Slip it in here. If your NVMe enclosure doesn't work, it will not latch in like that because the little notch will be in a different place. So keep that in mind. So all we have to do is push down and then push down enough for that rubber piece to go in from there. And there we have that in. Next thing we need to do, especially with this drive, is I have a feeling it's going to get pretty warm, is we're going to take one of the thermal things here, and we're going to try not to touch it as much. Very important. Get it started. There we go. And I'm going to start by putting it onto the case, not onto the drive, because if I have any problems, then it's easier to take off right here than it is right there. So that's good. Maybe this has got its own thermal paste. No, it does not. All right. So we'll go ahead and put this on like this. Right down. See? Trying not to touch any of the thermal paste as we go. There we go. We set it right there. And then we take that little tab and we try to peel it up. Might need a little help. There we go. You start peeling. And I know it's hard to see when I put my hands in the way, but as you can see right there, and I just have to peel that off. Make sure it's nice and affixed first. So I'll try and push it down here as much as possible. And then I'll pull that up. And there we go. Now, to put this onto the drive, all you have to do, there, and push down. Did I do that? I did that backwards. Silly me. No, that's right. But I did it backwards. This tab needs to go in first. And then, now we'll push it down. There we go. And now we have a pretty, hopefully, a really fast drive. So what I'm going to do, at this point, you can't see me plug it into the Mac Mini M4, even though the M4 is right there. And the cord is way too short to actually bring it over to the table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in here, and I'm going to plug it into the Mac Mini, and then I'm going to call up, remotely call up my Mac Mini, and then we can run a speed test and see what's going on. And then, of course, I'll also hit the heat gun on this a couple times to see how hot it gets within like the first 5 minutes. All right. Things out of the way. And it's now plugged into my Mac Mini M4. I love that Mac Mini M4. Some people run Windows, some people run Mac. I run both. And that's because I started in a Windows world and I live in both worlds. So now I'm going to call up my Mac through Viewer. All right, perfect. And we'll bring that up. And it's not seeing the drive. Why is it not seeing the drive? I just have to go to Utilities and disk. Probably needs to be initialized. Maybe I don't have it pushed in all the way. Hold on. Yeah, that's the problem when you're doing stuff live. Trying to get it to work for the first time, and it's not working, and I'm not sure why. And I don't want to pull out another machine just to verify. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to unplug it. There is a green light that's coming from here. Let's just check this again. Reground myself. Open this up. There we are. And make sure I didn't have any extra like little rubber pads or anything like that that I had to take off. Pull that up. I think you're seeing what I'm doing right now, so let's do that. Let's pull that out. I'll do this one more time. If this doesn't work, then we will move on for sure. I know that the enclosure works because I tested the other drive with it. Snap that back down. We'll give this one more try. There is a green light that turns on, so I know that it's on. And I'm looking over here, and it is not seeing it. Bring up the Disk Utility app. I'll show you once I get this to work, and it's not doing that. I'm going to do one more thing, and then we'll call it a bust. And that is restart. That should only take a minute. So anyway, that's the Kingston Fury. The Renegade G5. They have 2 terabyte, they have 1 terabyte, they have 4 terabyte. And this one is $329 for the 2 terabyte drive. And you can get that in the link below. So it's rebooting right now. Sometimes rebooting, when you're plugging in and out of drives, sometimes rebooting is the best solution because it might think it has something else in there for a drive. And yeah, so we'll see what happens here. I'm just going to take this and put this all away. Get this other NVMe drive off of my desk so I don't accidentally bump it and knock it on the floor, because I seem to do that when I have these things on the table. Take this and we'll put this over here, because that's a 4 terabyte drive. And connect back up. There we are. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Something's going on. Maybe the drive doesn't. Maybe the Acasis isn't supporting the. Let's just do this one more time. All right. Well, that's the bust right now. I'll figure out how it or why it's not working. But anyway, that's the drive right there. And it's very important that whatever you're plugging this NVMe drive into, I don't know if it's backwards compatible, if it'll work in like a PCIe 4.0 port, but it is PCIe 5.0. 2280. So keep that in mind. If you're buying this memory, make sure that it works with the device that you're buying it with. And if that's not the case here, then I'll have to figure something out and check with them. But anyway, that's the Kingston Fury Renegade G5 NVMe drive. let's move on. And I'm going to flip over here. We're just going to reset for a second. And in the meantime, hey, you know, we'll go over here and talk about this for a second. Do have the merch over at geekazine.com Amazon.com/shop/Geekazine. And you can get that, like the Geekazine shirt. We have several different designs. I like geek butts, and I cannot lie. 80s Jesus saved me one floppy at a time. And other types of shirts, and you can get this right in here. Of course, I have it linked right now if you're watching live, but definitely support the channel through that. Let's move on here. Like I said, I'm going to disconnect this just in case. I was really hoping the speed test would work. All right, here we go. Let's go here. Get this guy unboxed. To probably do some moving of cameras for a second here, like this one. So I'll do that, and I'll do that and bring that up. There we go. All right, here we are. Let's move on. This is the LaPro. You don't need to see my face. This is the LaPro 01 AI floor lamp. Now, I just unboxed another lamp from LaPro. I actually have it right here. Let me just move over to it. I have it behind me too. That's the LaPro TB1 Smart AI Smart Lamp, and that's actually on deal at 16% off at $75.99. It's just a designer lamp, and of course using with the LaPro not enclosure but system, then you can set up all your lamps from here. This is the AI Smart LED floor lamp, the 01. And what's cool about this is it's got a lot of great features to it. Features such as, let me just get back over here. There we go. Features as connecting up to your assistant over your Amazon Assistant or your Google Assistant. It's got RGB, CW, and CCT. These are just basically color profiles, and we'll show you that within the app. Now, in the color profiles, you'll be able to do a lot of different modes and methods. You can change some of the lighting. The independent control, I believe, is in there as well. It's perfect for a living room, perfect for a bedroom or a studio or whatever, and allows you to have a lot more options. And it's nice and thin, so it can fit in corners easily, whereas lamps would be about twice to 3 to 4 times the size. So let's go ahead and get this unboxed. Let's see how this unboxes. There we go. Bring that up like that. And open. There we go. Open it like that. Look at that. Got some instructions. Important. And then we got some white foam. Put that down there. Inside here is the lamp itself on a cord. And is that cord? Nope. This is the plug right here. Let's lift up this foam. There we go. That down there. Because this is all one piece. Just like with almost any lamp. I remember unboxing a lamp like this when I was in college. There's now, okay, and that's the base. So I'll take this piece out right here. Oof. Oofta. There we go. And then the base, it's actually a pretty heavy base. Don't pull it by the cord. Very important to say that. There we go. Oops, there goes the plug. I know, right? It's just like, wow. So yeah, the base is pretty heavy because, of course, it needs to keep the lamp upright. Let's just close this box so I don't knock anything around. Tough to do this with one hand, isn't it? It's like one of the sides. There we go. And then like that. Close enough. And we'll take that. And I don't know what's in front of me, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to slide and let it drop. I can set this on the table now. There we go. Look at that. I'll just set that down there on the padding. And there is the whole unit. If we had shown overhead. Yeah, we're just seeing. Let's back this camera up a little bit. There we go. So this is the light right here. And then we have the 3 poles, which will then line up with this right here. So let's go ahead and do that. You can see my face now, so let's do that. I'll take some of this tape off, being very careful we don't cut any of the cords. There we go. And we come to another layer. It's like peeling an onion. We gotta take off another piece of tape. But it's nice and secure, so that's important, right? We'll open this up. Open this up. Take the base out so we can move this cardboard out of the way. There we go. And now we have the fun task of taking all this. Oof, do that. Taking all of this plastic off. There's the base once again. It does, you see the plug right there. So that's where that well wart is going to go into. And then these, I'm not sure how to take these off. Usually I'll just take a scissors and cut. Or knife and cut. There we go. Bring that down. And then what happens is from there, we will take this. We'll bring this up. There we go. And then we just basically screw in that part. There we go. Go to the next one. There we go. Now, I'm not sure of the height on this thing. It looks like it's going to be about 3 feet high. So if you need something higher than that, you will need to, of course, put it on a table or put something underneath it or whatnot. Okay, that's the second one. Let's go ahead and take off this right here. I'm going to do something really quick here. There we go. And then turn that back on. There we go. All right. For this, I'm going to have to set this down on the ground for the final steps here. So set that down so you can see what's going on. And then I'm going to just screw it in. You'll see right there. I think. Yeah, it's still in frame. That's awesome. Cool. And you don't have to worry about the cord when you're twisting this in because it's independent from the cord. So, but you definitely have to think about how it strings through so the cord doesn't start to turn too much. Here's the last piece. This is the actual LED light. And this is what I was talking about. Because on the bottom, you'll end up pushing this cord through, and I can't do it from here. I'm going to have to pull from the bottom. So let's do that as easily as I can. And bring it down like that. Small pulls, so we don't rip anything. Easier said than done. There we go. There we go. And now we will thread this in. Like so. You see that? There we go. So that's the lamp. Maybe it's about 4 feet high. I don't have anything to measure it close by, do I? Yeah, I think that's sitting upstairs. But let me stand up here. So I'm 5 foot. I'm 5'11". That does, John. I'm 5'11", so it gets about here. So maybe it's closer to 5 feet. Maybe 5 feet. So what can you see on this side? Oh, try that. There we go. So there's the light right there. You can't really see it there. So I'll have to zoom out this one. Close the knife first. There we go. Now you can see it. Here's the plug. We'll plug it in. And I even have a power cord over here. There we are. And the power cord is down here. Plug that. Plug that in. And, ooh, it's starting to brighten. Here we go. All right. So, call that back up here. So this is the light. You're not really seeing it right now. It's blue, and it's flashing blue on and off. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the phone. There we go. And from the phone here, we're going to call up the LaPro software. There we are. So that's the LaPro software. We just basically have to add in a device. It's already detects the device. So we say check, and that's the O1. Perfect. Add now. Got to check the box or the circle, and then add that. And now the light's flashed up. So we can hit next. And what do we want to call this? We'll just call it floor lamp for now. And then, of course, I need a 2.4 gigahertz wireless range. So keep that in mind. Your Wi-Fi router needs to have 2.4 gigahertz wireless on here. And now it's pairing up with my wireless. You see it nice and bright and yellow. And that will change once that's done. See if I have any questions here. Don't see anything. Let's move on. It's still connecting. Sometimes it does that. It's a nice glow. I mean, it gives me a nice highlight, right? I don't know if this LED is rated for video work. If a light doesn't really work when you start to dim it, you'll see it flickering, and it's still working. But anyway, like I said, you can do music sync. You got the RGB CW, the CCT lamp. You can hook it up to your Amazon. You can hook it up to your Google, and it does. Like I said, it does have AI ability to it, like the other lamp does. It didn't like it. Let's try that again. Oh, maybe it, even though it said it didn't like it, I think it did. Look at that. I just turned it off. Let's turn it back on. There we go. So it is connected up. So let's go back over here. All right, so we've got the lamp here. We will zoom in on this because we want to see the app here. So that's the lamp right here. If we click on there, there's the AI assistant. So I can say, turn off the lamp. Turn off the lamp. Make the lamp party. And now it's doing this little, here we go. It's a little flash. Yeah, I don't know. You can't see that from there, but it is flashing. You can see the colors going, and I got different options. I can do this, this one right here. There it goes. You see that? No, let's do this. Change the exposure. We can kind of see, that's interesting. From my DeVoom, you can actually see the light pattern from there. But we can do solid light. You can just have some party lights, or we can go back and say, give me a reading light. And then a nice little light for reading that you need. So anyway, so that's the lamp. It's doing pretty good. Once again, we can connect it up to our assistants and say, hey, LA, turn off the lamp. If we want to, we can, that's calling up a keyboard for keyboard AI. Oh, you didn't see that. Keyboard for the keyboard AI. But you can also do different things. You can already set it, the brightness, brighter, lower, all that other good stuff. We can set it to music. There's a nice little VU meter. So every time I'm talking, just look over here at the DeVoom. Every time I'm talking, it's actually doing like a little VU meter thing. Sparkle mode. So there's LEDs like here, 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 and they're going off on their own as it goes from there. So this, let's see if there's a lava lamp mode. Let's go back to AI. We'll go back to the floor lamp. We'll go, give me a lava lamp. And I don't think that's a lava lamp. But anyway, so no, it doesn't do that. But we do have a lot of other options that we can add from there. So can do a little flash mode. So make it look like the cops have stopped by or something like, I don't know. Anyway, so that is the LaPro 01 floor lamp. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting it in my living room and then playing around with it and some of the mood lighting from there. I have smart lights in my living room, but I have an old lamp and a couple of Edison bulbs, which worked at the old place, but in this new place, not so much. So I'm hoping that this will actually work better without being in audio mode like that. So we can do a lot of changes, and then of course I can add it to my living room, and then I'll say, LA, turn off the living room when it's time to go up to bed. Boom. And I think there's also a button. I thought I saw a button here. Yeah, there's a button right here, so you can manually turn off and on the lamp if you need to. Don't need to connect it up to your network if you don't want to, but it's nice to have. So anyway, That is the LaPro 01 AI floor lamp. Pretty cool stuff. And I'll show you the other lamp here. Sorry about that. I believe this is the T1. I don't have the plug for it, but it's got this gyroscope look to it. It doesn't spin or anything like that, but you can reposition it. So this would make for a nice ring light maybe, but then I can position this and this, and then when it turns on, the same thing, independent control, and I have it over here. Let's do this. There we go. And that's the one at 16% off. So it's a nice room light decoration, and it lights really well. However you want to have it set up in your room, your living room, your bedroom, your studio, or anything like that. I still have to figure out a place to put this because it's a nice little decorative light. But like I said, I don't know where to put it. And then, of course, this is going to go into the living room as we go. All right, so that's that. Let's get reset for the next thing. And do some more unboxing. What do we got next? All right, I'm gonna get a drink of water really quick. Out of the way. Once again, I have to figure out if that lamp will work with video stuff, because if it creates a flicker, then it doesn't really work that well. All right. Perfect. Come on. There we go. All right. Next up, we got. There we are. Next up, we've got a bunch of stuff here from a company called XBot Go. What this is a gimbal system. PTZ, more PT than Z, but it's the ability to actually move around your camera without you touching the camera, which is really nice. This is a camera that looks at the field, uses AI to follow the players, the ball of sports teams. XBot Go focuses on sports. And I reviewed a 3-axis gimbal, I think it was last year, from XBot Go. So amazing stuff. And now we've got this thing where you can bring your own phone, bring your own device. I think you can do more than just a phone. We've got to attach a phone to this thing. So, but this is the XBot Go. Let's just get here. AI sports action camera, 4K, 60 frames a second, which you'll need for the sensor to keep it in line with what it's tracking. And it actually can track people, specific people. So let's say you got two people running around the soccer field and you want to focus on this person right here. If this person goes like this, it's going to wait for this person to get away and then continue to follow that person and not follow this person. So that's what's really cool about this. And a lot of AI is doing this nowadays. So really excited about this. So it starts with the XBot Go Chameleon. So we're going to move all this stuff out of the way. Yeah, we'll get it completely out of shot. There we go. All right. And we're going to zoom this in a little bit. There we go. Maybe too much. Let's zoom out a little bit. Get that out of shot. Sorry about that. There we go. Just checking my connections here. All right. There we go. Okay. I forgot to start the record again. Sorry about that. Let's do that again. Gotta get that recorded. All right. I'll bring that back up. So, I'll bring this like this. There we are, like that. All right. Okay. Hit the record button. Do that again. All right. 3, 2, 1. Following around in a sports event with your phone and your camera is a pain in many different ways. So you want to have something really cool that will allow you to follow the action so you can live stream or record your kid or whoever playing soccer, playing basketball, whatever sport. That's where XBot comes in. This is the XBot Go Chameleon, which is a system that allows you to put a phone or another camera on top of it and let that do all the following of the action with AI, and it will allow you to just enjoy the game sometimes. So we're going to unbox all of this and take a look next. I do have to mention that I did get this product and the accessories from XBot, but they're not sponsoring this video. They have no say in what I do, unbox, and of course how I review it. So all opinions are that of Geekazine. You can check out everything over at Geekazine and our review section for all the information as to how it all works and everything like that. So, all right, with that said, let's go ahead and get this unboxed right here because we have several different parts to it. And we're going to start by moving all this stuff away. And we're going to start with the basic part, and that is the Xbox Go. That's the XBot Go Chameleon, which is the camera, the AI cameraman, as they call it. There's a couple different colors that you can get for it, like a gray or nice neon green. I think I got the neon green, but we'll find out once I open it up. There we go. Pull that open like that. Set that down like that, and there's that. Let's set that down here. Let's see, do we have a good shot here? There we are. Relock it. Make sure I've got the right. There we go. Let's go ahead and open this up. This is actually the lava graphite one, so I don't think it's going to be green. There we go. Yeah, it's a gray color. So we've got a remote here. We'll start with that. There's the remote for this device, and of course there's a little tab, so the battery looks like a CR2032. We'll find out later, but you can pull that out. We've got a USB cable, C to C cable right there, so we can charge up the unit, and then of course we got the unit itself. There we go. Underneath, we do have instructions and all that other stuff, which we'll leave in the box. It's a nice box. Set that down there. And there is the chameleon right there. All right, let's switch over to here. And then we'll zoom in like that. There we are. Open this up. Let's see what we got. All right. So basically, the idea is that you put your camera here. If it's a phone, you can put it here, and then there's a little dial in the back, and that basically clamps down on the phone. Now, let's test one thing out really quick. And this is one thing that I find, and that is a lot of people have cases on their phones. Does this work with a case on it? And the answer is yes. Look at that. Look at that. So I can bring my phone in, and it will use it like that. Basically, just screw it in to fasten it down. Don't do too much. You just need enough to be stable enough to maybe lift it. Now, this does turn this way, and it will tilt as it's going through. So we've got their camera right here. That's their 4K camera. We're going to take my phone off of it, because another cool thing about this is, let's say you don't want to use your iPhone. Maybe you've got a small GoPro or something like that you want to use. Well, there's a 1/4 inch mount right there that allows you to, with the right adapter, be able to attach another camera. I have one that's over there, so I won't do that. On the bottom here, it must be a sticky. Yeah, it's a little rubber bottom. I don't think it's magnetic or anything. Let me test it. No, it's not magnetic, but it's definitely a rubber bottom, so it doesn't move around. All right, let's zoom in a little bit and see what we've got for the camera. All right, so like I said, on the top, that's where you put in your phone, and there's the 1/4 inch mount right here. On the bottom, we do also have a 1/4 inch mount for your tripod. Right here, that's the power button, and then of course that 4K 60 frame a second camera. Now, one thing that I wasn't 100% sure about is, can it record from this camera, or do you have to use the device up on top? So that's what we're going to find out as we go here. So nothing on the side, just the XBot Go. On the back, that's where we plug in our USB-C, and nothing on this side. So this is meant for outdoors, so it looks pretty closed, but we did get a umbrella for weather. So with that and your iPhone, it should be able to withstand small rain sprinkles and things like that if your kids are playing in weather conditions. So I'm not too worried about that. So in the front, we do have the button. We have a button and a little, I don't know if that's a hole or a light, we'll find out yet, but we do have 4 lights down on the bottom. That'll probably tell us how charged our device is. If we do a single press like that, nothing. I think we have to hold and press. There we go. And that lights this whole thing up. Notice how the sides get lit up. This bottom part got lit up as well. Looks like we're at about 75%. You're seeing the camera tilt up and down. It's not a lot of tilt, but it's enough to cover a football field, basketball field, soccer field, and stuff like that. The bottom part does turn as well, so don't force to turn it, because you could hurt it. So, all right. So we've got this set up here. Let's zoom out a little bit. Now what we got to do is we got to connect up our XBot Go to the device. And simply, there's the app right there. Simply, all we have to do is hit Add Device. Hopefully, it's going to find it. Yeah, it sees it right there. And we'll choose Click to Connect. And it says, hey, it's connected. I don't think it's not going to ask me for anything like to save the Wi-Fi password or anything like that. So that's good. So on a security standpoint, it's going to use the phone to do this. Now, what a lot of people do at this point is they set that phone right into the device, but I'm going to hold on to the phone because this needs to be my remote, because as you can see, we've got the device and the remote. We also have this remote, which we do need to take care of. We'll pull that out. I think we got to loosen this a little bit first. There we go. Pull that out. That is a CR2032 battery. Oops. Go in like that. Yep, it goes in like that. We'll put that in. There we go. And tighten it up. There we go. Look at that. All right. So now if we want to attach the remote, we can. I think I have to turn it on first. There we go. Yeah, just have to hold down the button. And there we go. We're seeing the remote. We can connect from there. So now we've connected our remote to the phone, and we connected the camera to the phone. So with the remote, I should be able to now control this, I believe. Oh, okay. You'll see some blue lights here. So this is telling us that's on. This is telling us that we're, whoops. This is telling us that it's on. This is telling us that we're in movie mode, we're in photo mode, and 2 other modes, which I'm not exactly sure there are. So with that, I'm not getting this to turn at all. Maybe there's still something I need to do. Let's go back over to the device. And bring that in. Oh, it's saying that there's a firmware update. So we're going to do that later. First of all, we're just going to bring in, we've got our connected devices. So now go live. And here's where we have to sign in to that. I should have. You have to check the red terms of, the terms of XBot Go, and I should have this where I can log in because I have used another device before. There we go. Let's see what that is. All right. Okay, here we go. So from here, we're going to hit the camera live button. Let's see if you can darken that a little bit so you can see what's going on. So we're going to hit the little go button. And from here, it's going to ask us, well, what are we recording? Are we doing a basketball thing or an ice hockey or tennis or just having it follow me? We'll do follow me for now. And we'll hit next. And it says we'd like to access the camera. We'd like to access the microphone. And of course, we can follow me or we can do jersey number. So if I have a number, big number on my chest, then it will recognize that. So we can hit start recording. And then, of course, it has the lock target, unlock target. So I don't want to use this on the phone, so I'm not exactly sure why it's not going through here to do that. So let's go back here. I have a few things to learn, of course. This should be a monitor feature. And it's telling me to go in vertical mode, or horizontal mode, excuse me. So there we are. Let's do that again. And we'll just do follow me mode. Go next. Start recording. And then okay. We do have gestures to lock and unlock the target. We should be able to use the remote from here. But the other thing is we can attach this to here, so let's bring this around. Tighten that up. Let's see if we can do it this way. I'll bring this back a little bit. We'll go to this camera right here. You kind of see it down there. Let me make that more viewable. As you can see, it is going through and seeing me. And if I raise my hand, that should bring in the follow mode, and it did. So here it is. It's following me not only in a left to right, but up to down. Now it says it can do 360. Unfortunately, I can't do it at this point. So if I walked around this whole thing, then it does find me. I notice that it does have a little bit of jitter. It's looking through this camera right here. So if it doesn't see anything, it doesn't know to follow it. It's not using this. I don't believe it's using this camera to do any AI stuff. It's using this bottom camera, and that's this camera right here. So with that, it's using it to follow me around, which it's doing pretty nicely. Now, if I was on a soccer field or something like that, it would then follow me around, and it would try its best to stay on me instead of another person until I tell it something different. Now, I still haven't figured out how the remote works. Let's go ahead and raise my hand. Okay, you didn't see that, but when I raised my hand, go over here, and we will go like that and up. When I raise my hand, watch the camera light. So I'll raise it, and the camera flashed for a minute, and now it's in follow mode. I raise it again, it's a double flash, and then it not only doesn't just stop what it's doing, it resets back to square zero of what it's doing. So that is the basic functionality of this device, this camera, which allows you to do a lot more. I'm not a big fan of the hand gestures, because especially raising your hand, because you do that all the time. It's when you're talking, you just raise your hand, and all of a sudden, hey, just stop the camera. So, and I still have to figure out how this remote works, because right now I'm pressing the buttons, and it just beeped at me. Okay, you can beep at me, but do something. And I just turned off the remote. So, but anyway, so that is the XBot Go. Come back here, boom, like that. That is the XBot Go on your phone. And once again, you don't have to use your phone for that, but I have to figure out how that all works. So that's what happens on a first discovery, is you don't always get the results that you like. But they're pretty decent results, and so far so good on this camera. So we'll go ahead and hold that down, turn it off. We'll set it to the side, because we've had a couple other things to unbox. Next up, I don't think I had this on the list, so we'll probably skip this. But basically, this is just a case, and I'm pretty sure I just didn't add it to my Amazon list. I'm pretty sure you can get it right on Amazon. Just go to the XBot Go website. So when you click on the link, you go down, and you'll be able to go into the XBot Go website, or their Amazon page, and then see what else they have here. But what we also have here is the case, which is a nice little case that I could use for more than just the XBot Go if I wanted to. standard fabric style case with a zipper. Bring that open. Oh, look at that. Remote goes right there. Xbot Go right there. And I think we could put the cable there or something like that. Close that up. Look at that. That's nice. Easy. Easy, easy. All right, let's move on, because we also got the Xbot Go tripod. This is a nice table tripod. It's actually a bigger table tripod. And it's really because like I said, I have one of these already. And they're nice because they look strong and sturdy, but they're not too much. I wouldn't put a high-end camera on this thing, but a camera like the Xbot Go and the phone, easy. And I'll keep that close by. This we'll throw over here. There we go. So this is the unit here. And it's actually fairly straightforward. On the top here, you have like the little, you can turn that whatever camera on like that, and then of course the legs separate. Simple as that. Let's switch over to this camera. So we got a nice tabletop camera. We could put the Xbot Go here, and then of course my camera right here. But it does expand a little bit with these legs. They're turntable legs. They're two parts. You have the turning dial legs. That'll make that solid. But then it's got a telescoping feature. So that is pretty much the height of the tripod. So it's about maybe 3 feet. Yeah, I would say 3 feet, 2.5 to 3 feet, somewhere around there. So if you needed higher than that, you'd probably have to get a different tripod. But this is a great tripod for any type of work that you need to do. Then you just don't have much space. A backpack streamer would really love this. Now to close it up, you got to loosen this right here. And then you basically just bring it in, and then each part will snap into place because those little ball bearings are holding it in. And then you tighten it down, you're good to go. So you can put it on the table, you can put it on the floor, easy peasy. And then when it's ready, you can put it into your backpack, your bag, or whatever. Comes with a little carrying case, which is really nice. Always nice to have a carrying case. And there we go. That's the Xbot Go tripod for your Xbot Go. Last one here on Xbot here, and this is actually an umbrella, weather umbrella. Now, of course, this is really going to depend on what type of weather you have out there. If it's a really sunny day, this is going to be perfect. If it's a windy, rainy day, you don't want to set it up. Simple as that. So let's go ahead and open this up and then see what we got. We'll go on the overhead here. Comes in its own bag. That's kind of nice. Zoom out a little bit more. There we go. There we are. It is a small umbrella. That is what it is. So, a little foam here. This looks like a unit of some sort that allows you to, okay, so it's a dual clamp. So basically if I had like a chair or another tripod or something like that, I could clamp it in here. Or this tripod, I could clamp it on the leg. Let's see how it clamps. Let's screw all the way off. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's see what happens. Yeah, you can pop it off if you need to. And then put it on. And then screw it back in. Let's see. There we go. In fact, if we zoom in a little bit. There we are. There we are. So you see the threads right there on that. So basically that just tightens and loosens from there. Little rubber feet in here. So when you put it in, like this is part of the umbrella. You put that in. Loosen it up. There we go. You put that in like so, and then you tighten it Simple as that. If you need something stronger, I'm a drummer, so I have several clamps that do this same thing. So if I needed something stronger than this, I'd just use one of those clamps to clamp it to here. But this is the main pull for the umbrella, and then we have the little umbrella here. Don't open an umbrella in the house. Bad luck. That's what they say, right? Oh, this is an interesting umbrella. There we go. It's not going to do too much with me, but for your camera, it's going to be perfect. So notice the slant there. So I'm assuming that's going to offer more shade from light flares or anything like that. So we basically just put it into the thing here and clamp it down. There we are. And there. We're singing in the rain. We're recording in the rain. So there we go. That's the umbrella. And I'll have to play with this a little bit more, but that's basically a little protection for your Xbox Go and your iPhone, for that matter, for mostly for sun. I would say this is mostly for sun. Now the top here, this is interesting. Ow. The top here is interesting. There's no latches or anything like that. So I have a feeling if there's a good gust of wind that pushes this down, it's just going to do that and then close like that. And of course, it's only closing this way because I have it in this extension here. So that might be good for any gusts of wind so it doesn't blow your Xbox Go off to Kingdom Come. But we'll basically open this up, pull this back out. There we go. Yeah. And then, of course, it closes. We'll have the Velcro here. And that just kind of gives us a little latch. We'll take this out like so. And now we can take all of this. We'll start with the umbrella. Back in the bag. And then, of course, this piece back in the bag. And then this piece back in the bag. And close the bag. And now, if you're a backpack, I call a backpack streamer somebody that basically has everything that they can put everything into their backpack and go. This is definitely a more higher end part of the backpack streamer, but works really well for that. Look at that. So we have the Xbox Go here. Of course, it's your phone's in your pocket. Xbox Go here. We have a small little tripod, and then of course we have the umbrella to keep us free of elements, mostly sun. That's what I'm guessing this is for, is mostly for the sun. But anyway, that's the whole Xbox Go infrastructure. All right, so that was the tripod. I forgot to go to the umbrella. There's the umbrella right there. So you can definitely use it however, that way. Let me just check to see if there's anything here. By the way, we do have a 30% off eligible product. That's the record player, and it's just a regular record player. It doesn't connect up USB to the computer, but if you just need a record player, you have some old vinyl that you want to listen to or anything like that, that is on deal right now at 30% off. All right, where are we going to put this? I'm trapping myself in all this cardboard. All right. Let me explain this really quick. So Fender has come out with a new software. What's the name of that software? It's called Fender Studio. And that's what it looks like. So they I'm taking a look at the Fender Studio. It's an app for your phone, whether it be iOS or Android or computer. And it turns it into its own music studio. So you can record tracks, you can make your own music basically off of this. So if you have like a GarageBand or anything like that, similar to GarageBand. Simple as that. So, all right, let's go ahead and get this started. And we're going to talk about everything that's in this box right here. So we're going to do that next. I'm going to take this off the table. Take it off the table. It goes off the table. I'm going to hit the record button again. 3, 2, 1. What's in this box? Really cool stuff. What's better than just what's in this box is the software that this box is for. And we're going to talk about it next. So basically, Fender came out with a thing called Fender Studio. In fact, you can see it. It's right on the box. It says Fender Studio. So they got me this box, and there's a lot of cool items in here. Now, we're going to review each of the items as we will. And, of course, we'll ultimately do the Fender Studio app as we go. I do have to mention they did send me all of this free of charge, but they're not sponsoring this video, or they're not sponsoring this video, nor do they have any say in how I unbox or review any of the products. So I have a review page that talks about all of that. You can check that out. And if you got a product that you want me to take a look at, just contact me and we'll get that into studio. All right, so this is the Fender Studio. And inside is a lot of goodies that we will need to play with the Fender Studio app. You get it? You get what this is all about. But this is just pretty decent box. It even has a little like this end up, which I just turned wrong. But I'm definitely keeping this box for, I might just put it in the background or something like that. And then ultimately what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the studio and we will we'll play with the app and go from there. But let's see what's in the box. First of all, what is in the box? Up on top, it says Fender Studio, and let's see if you can see it from here. Oh, wrong one. Do that. There we go. All right, so basically it says Fender Studio is the all-new app for recording, jamming, and capturing your creativity wherever and whenever it strikes. Packed with authentic tones, Fender Studio is fast, fun, and free for guitar players and music creators of all types. Awesome. So what do we have in this box? What did they send me? Lots of cool stuff here. There we go. All right. So let's start with, we'll start with, what are we starting with? We'll start with the picks, because that's what I grabbed. To begin with, we have these dotted celluloid picks. They're of the 351 shape. Why did that change that exposure? That might be auto. Yeah, that's auto. There we go. So this is dotted celluloid picks, 351 shape. That's the standard pick shape, but they do have like a little tactile feel on them. So when you're strumming your guitar, you can feel that. So especially when you get older, and unfortunately when you get older and your fingers don't work the way that you want them to. I'll do that again. Your fingers don't work the way you want it to. Then something like this helps with the feel. So I'll definitely be using these. And I think these are all medium picks, and they come in light, medium, and heavy picks. Medium's a good gauge to start with if you've never played guitar. Yeah, so it looks like we have different colors here. So that's pretty cool. Next up, we have, looks like the Fender Contour instrument cable. This is basically what's called a TS cable, so tip and sleeve. So, because of course you plug your guitar in here, and then this goes into the amp or I don't know, audio interface of some sort. I have one over there that I can use. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and take this out of the packaging. This one's 10 feet, but they also have 18 feet. How do I take this out of the packaging? Easier said than done, I believe. There we go. Just do it this way. Oh. Get my hand out of the way. There we go. There we go. Now I'll open that up. There we go. Get that out of the way. There's the cable right there. We got some cable ties, so I'm going to have to find a way to cut those. I have a way to cut those, don't worry. I just don't have it close by. Simple scissors will do. And then, of course, a couple twist ties. And then it's not a Velcro. It's a rubber thing. So basically a little tab. So once you roll these up, then you'll be able to keep this rolled up with this little tab right here. So simple instrument cable. It's got a high shield on it. What is it? Let me remember what that was. That out of the way, that out of the way, that out of the way. I didn't do that yet. We talked about those. There we go. So inside of this cable has a 24 gauge conductor for elevated signal path and a 6mm outer diameter wire jacket. So it basically keeps interface any type of noise coming through this cable, because that's always a pain when you get up on stage and cables cross upon cables upon cables. And so it's nice to have, brighten that up, it's nice to have something that won't kind of capture the other interference noises and just simply send the guitar tone from point 1 to point 2. So that's the guitar cable right there. Next up in the box, there we go, we have the headphones, which is the PreSonus HD9. There we go. PreSonus HD9 headphones, professional monitoring headphones. They too many things to do. They've got a lot of great features to them. This is a closed set headphone. So what does that mean? That basically means that the back end is solid. If you had an open air headset, there'd be vents on the back, not only just for air to get through your ear, but also to kind of push some of the sound out as well, so you have a more comfortable experience. Cord, trying not to get this fluffy stuff on the table, but anyways, cord has a 3.5mm jack. Oh, it's locking. And then the adapter for if you've got audio interface or anything else that you need to connect up to. It's pretty straightforward from there. Let's zoom in so you can see it. Maybe. There we go. So that is, and it's a TRS, so tip, ring, sleeve, standard stereo jack for if you need it. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, they'll fit on the ear. They got a nice little padding on the top here. I love these headphones because they also have the turnout mode. So if you don't want to hear one sound, DJs love this all the time. I'm not sure which side's the left. I don't see the marking for left and right. All right. I'll go like that. So I'm going to put it on my ears. And wow, I literally could hear a big change in the air. So that's what it looks like over my ears. Nice little padding on top so I don't get any type of notches on my head. So I can do this for hours. When I'm in front of the keyboard or anything like that, I got these headphones in front of my drums. I got headphones like this on, so I can kind of envelop myself into the sound, or for just listening to the stereo. Plug it into a tuner or anything like that. I might probably need an extension cord. I don't know how long this cord is. I would guess it's about at least 6 feet. So I don't think it says here. Yeah, it doesn't say here. But it's a really nice set of headphones, and they're actually really inexpensive too at $89. So it's a great little set of headphones right here that you can use to listen. And the frequencies, it's got a 46mm driver in it. That's basically the sound the speaker inside of there. There's 46 millimeter driver, so it can get frequencies, if I remember, it's like down to 10 hertz all the way up to 24 kilohertz. You won't be able to hear the 24 kilohertz, but when you get to the 16 kilohertz range, most hearing, you'll start to hear something, then it'll dip out, and then it'll come back, depending on how much ear loss or hearing loss you have. Then you'll be able to hear it. So I can hear at around 16 kilohertz, and then drops out, and then back in at 14, drops out, and then back in at 12. I think those are the numbers, but I'll definitely connect this up to an audio file that I have that tests all the frequencies to hear how this sounds. But anyway, it's a really nice set of headphones, and it does, although it doesn't have active noise cancellation with the headphones on, I definitely heard a difference in the in what I could hear out there from as opposed to in here. So it'll be nice for recording music and playing guitar and other stuff. So, all right, let's get back here. Not here, but here. We'll bring that back there. There we go. All right, so let's go down here. Zoom back out. There we go. We still got more stuff in here. Next thing, I believe, is the guitar strap. There we go. Yeah, that's the guitar strap. So this is the Fender, what do they call it? The running logo strap. So it's a really nice fabric strap that you can use. So you can put it on. So one end goes on the guitar, on the head of the guitar, and the other end goes on the back. It comes with a string, and this is for some guitars. They don't have a peg on the guitar, especially acoustic guitars. They won't have a peg on the front, so you'll basically be tying this to the end of the neck so that it'll stretch all the way out. Some people like it that way. I like to have it right on the from peg to peg, and work from there. But you can also take the string off. In fact, I think I just did through this whole thing. So it's like a shoelace string. So, and it can hang up on the Fender logo, which is pretty cool. So I could probably just put that up somewhere, hang that up on my wall if I need the string. And then of course the strap for my guitar. Even though my guitar is not a Fender guitar, I'm a drummer, so I have like two acoustic guitars and two electric guitars. One of them doesn't work. So, and a ukulele. So I don't have like the 1,500 guitars that many guitar players have, but I have a lot of drums, let's put it that way. So this is a nice strap. I'll be able to put it onto a guitar or a bass or anything like that, and I really like that. So thank you guys very much for the strap. That's pretty sweet. We'll go ahead and spin that up. Definitely be using it with that the Fender Studio app that's coming out. That was a strap, and then I think we got one more item in here, unless I missed something. I'll just pull it out, and then we will unbox it afterwards, so we don't get the schmutz all over. I don't think there's anything else in here. Let's just double check. Oop. Oh, a little Fender bag. Or no, it's the PreSonus bag, so that's the bag for the headphones. So a little extra protection. And then I got a little card saying thanks for checking out the Fender Studio. And then that's pretty much it. So that's the box. The promo box, which I'm definitely going to be using somehow. How cool is that? All right. We'll get that out of the way for now, though. The last item here is what's called the Link IO. So what this is a device that you can put, you're basically connecting your computer up, your guitar up to your computer. So the guitar is analog, the computer's digital. This is the interface that goes from audio to digital. Simple as that. So there it is right there. The Fender Link IO. Close this out. There we go. Portable USB-C audio interface. I don't think this needs a battery to run, but we do have some features in here I would like to show you. So let's go ahead and take off the tape here. each side. There we go. And then I need to check one thing before we continue. Okay, perfect. All right, so here's the link IO. Go ahead and open this. I think I get, yeah, there we go. And that's the link IO right there. Really straightforward, very small, so very compact, and meant for guitar playing, not meant for anything like vocals or anything like that. Inside here, I think there should be a cable. Yeah, the cable's in here, and then of course instructions are right here. You could use it as it is, but I believe there's also some sort. Well, you can use it with many different apps that will connect up, and not only just your computer, but also your iPad, your iPhone. If you've got a USB-C iPhone, your Android device, I believe will also connect up to that as well. All right, let's like that. Okay, let's go and figure this out. These box configurations are crazy. I'm gonna just rip. There we go. And that's the cable. It's a simple C to C cable. So if you lose it, then you can probably just use another C to C cable. Make sure it's not a power only cable. But you could definitely just get a replacement anywhere. Standard USB-C, it's not anything special, where it then will plug into right here, like so. Let's go ahead and take a look at this a little bit closer. So we're going to go there, and we're going to go boop, like that. And we're even going to do a little bit more and zoom in. There we go. Maybe out just a touch. There we go. All right, what do we have here? We're just going to unplug the USB-C for now. So basically what we have is that's the USB-C interface right there. And inside, we also have the headphone jack, so you can listen to what you're playing. On the side right here, we have what's called a pad on and off. This allows you to kind of adjust how it sounds a little bit better so you can hear everything, because it's also going to have, it's also an interface. So if you're playing music, it could come through here as well, because this is meant for practice. So you'd want to, have the song playing so you can actually practice with it. So on the other hand, here is a volume button. So if you want the or I'm sorry, not the volume button, but a blend button. So with the blend button, it will bring in more of the external music or more of your guitar playing from here. Up on top is your volume button or your volume dial. So it allows you to turn up and down your guitar. Now, I don't have a guitar down here, but I could easily plug this in to see if how it lights up. So we'll plug in the USB-C, in which I will then plug in the USB-C here. And then I will it did light up. It has a multicolor mode. Right now, it was flashing blue and green because of the fact that it was trying to connect. And my phone's asking, is this headphones or another device? We're going to say other device. And so now when I open up the Fender Studio, I can do a lot of different things, from jamming to recording or anything like that. We can do a new thing. We could set up a guitar. We could play guitar through this. We could play bass through this. We could actually hook up keyboards or other devices through this. It's going to be mono, not stereo, but mono. I don't believe there's a stereo jack in there, but meant for just plugging in a cable like this into there, the simple TS cable. So now that we have this plugged in, this light will act differently. So once we plug in a guitar, this will be an indicator as to how loud our guitar sound is. So if we're seeing this at red, that means it's way too loud and we need to turn things down a little bit. We want to try and get it, it'll probably be green when we plug everything in. And then, of course, we want to get it to the point where it's flipping between green and yellow. That's a good run right there. Of course, if you have any type of guitar that needs some extra power, like most of them will have you have to put a battery inside of the guitar. But if it needs any type of extra power, this will not supply it, as far as I know. This is very passive audio. But on that same token, I don't believe there's any battery inside here, so you won't need that. There is a screw here, so we could actually open this up, but I'm not going to do that. But this is a basic connect up a guitar to a device, whether it be a phone, a tablet, or a computer, which is really cool. And it's small enough. The only thing that I really wish that some of these things have sometimes is a little clip in back, because sometimes I'll put my phone in my pocket. I'd want to clip this onto my belt loop and then play the guitar, walk around and just play guitar to whatever. And I have a few different programs that I can use to play guitar to whatever. And it would be nice there. But anyway, the headphones, so that PreSonus would go in here. This cable would go into here. This guitar cable would go into here. And then I'd plug my guitar into there. So that is the Link IO from Fender, which is a cool little product. All of these products are cool and very geeky and very techy. So if you're, whether you're a professional that's just trying to figure out a lick, if you're a newbie trying to figure out chords, or an intermediate to figure out that solo to Santana's Smooth or anything like that, boom, you've got the means to do it through all of this stuff through Fender. So, and I thank Fender for sending me this care package. I love it, and I'll definitely be using this into my system here. But the Link IO is $89.99 if you want to get it now. So, and I think we talked about that. We didn't talk about that. Two other items that we're going to talk about, and then we'll get you on your merry way. That's not the right button. That's not my beautiful button. That's not my beautiful button. It's a nice button, but it's not the beautiful one. All right, a couple more things that we're going to talk about really quick. We talked about that light. I do want to mention, well, let's go back here. I do want to mention this guy right here. This is the Devoom. This is the, where'd it go? There it is. The Pixoof 64, which is basically a cloud digital picture frame. And with the right app, which of course is the Devoom app, I can do a lot of different things. I created the background. These are all AI pictures that I made. When I went through that whole turn myself into a action figure phase. So have a couple action figures. So I could actually put this up into a group, and that's what plays in the background. It's hard to see right there because I have to reposition it because the lighting is getting away. And then, of course, I got to put my cat in there. So that's Scotty. Say hi, Scotty. But anyway, we could go into Devoom, which is an app that we basically pair with. And with the Devoom app, boom, like that. We'll go up here and we'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it. I can do a lot of these different things if I wanted to, like for instance this one, this raid or anything like that. I'm not sure how that's gonna work, so I don't want to do through the gallery. They've got a really cool part here. This is gods and mythology, interesting, and some cats. Gotta always have cats. The new stuff. Let's see, let's find what I'm looking for. Oh, here we go. Let's say I want to connect up to show you all my YouTubers and views and everything like that. I go in here, and then I can do display. I can set up different things like displaying the time, my time zone, 12-hour, 24. I'm a 24-hour format person, so there we go. We can search the channel, and let's see. Is that on? I think that's on Devoom. So I don't think we're going to see Geekazine on there. Oh, yeah, there it is right there. And then we're going to say done. And now, did that change that? It did change it, but yeah, I don't think it's got the it's got the right information on there. But anyway, my YouTube account, and then of course I can view my accounts. I can turn that off. I can do my subscriber counts off. I'm just looking at on there. So, and then any responses or anything like that, we'll turn it back on. We'll turn those back on. Let's turn that back on, that back on. Now, you can see, we'll get the right camera in here to do this, and we'll do that. And we'll go like that. A little bit of manual movement here. Zoom in a little bit. And over here, there's the Devoom right there. And I have more than 7,300 subscribers on YouTube. So I'm not sure how that's connected. So I could do that. There are other things like, for instance, if I'm into Bitcoin, I could have a Bitcoin counter. Oops, let's lock that focus. There we go. I could have the Bitcoin counter. Let's say I just want cats and weather. So it's telling me it's a partly cloudy day and cats are jumping up and down. Simple as that. What's this one? This is a nice little clock. I think. That's not what it is. So this is basically saying it's going to be 14. Well, it looks like Celsius. So 14 degrees Celsius. And that's what it's going to look like for the weekend. I don't know. That one doesn't work. But anyway, we got this one right here, which shows me the Ethereum. Or probably if I change the settings to whatever digital currency I have. So I could say, okay, Bitcoin, change that to Bitcoin, done, back. And now it's actually flipping through different cryptos. I can go in and I can go to a lot of the other creations, people creating stuff. These are a couple that I created, the On Air, basically like that. My old Geekazine logo. This actually I created on my Pixu 16x16, which I've had in my old studio. If you've watched the channel for a long time, the old studio had one on my corner of my shoulder. So I was always playing stuff like that. And then, of course, where is the other one? The local gallery has that, which is basically, that's my Alfred E. Newman version of me. That's all the AI art that I did. So there's the Geek Out cereal and then the action figure. It doesn't look clean because it's 64 pixels by 64 pixels. So it's doing its best to make a good shot from there. But basically that is, I'll get back to me, that is the Devoom Pixu 64. Really cool little device, and that's why I have it sitting on the corner here. It's $99.99, 5% off right now. So great deal in itself. All right, and of course, if you go to the Devoom store, simple as this, go to the Devoom store. They have other types of Devooms, like the little Didu Pro, which is really small. I think that's a 16x16 right there. Yeah, 16x16 LED app controlled front screen, so I could actually have it on my desk, showing off pictures. Or one point I did a little ticker on the Devoom. Then there's the Pixu 64, we have Pixu 16, which looks like suction cups for glass, so you can put it on your door or something like that at work. We've got little clocks right here from Devoom, and looks like speakers of some sort. There are some that do have that. Looks like we got a little karaoke system right here, which is cool. And then these little guys, these are actually USB chargers. So USB-A and USB-C. And then the face, I believe, will change as it goes. And I'm not sure if you can program that or not, but I have a couple of these, not for Devoom's versions, but they're kind of fun to plug it in and then somebody say, hey, is there a face on there? That's pretty wild. So, and a lot more from Devoom. As you can see, you can really just deck out your room with Devoom. Deck out your room with Devoom. That sounded pretty pitchy right there. Sorry about that. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. And it's going to do it for, we got a lot of stuff here. So I hope you guys found some stuff that you really enjoyed. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me over at Geekazine. And we'll go from there. So if you want to follow me over on YouTube or over on Amazon.com/shop/Geekazine, there's the follow button down below. I'd appreciate that very much. And if you are watching on some of the other channels, thank you guys very much for watching that. So that does it for me on this very long unbox. We had a lot of stuff to unbox, from the light to the Fender stuff to this, and now I gotta do the Fender Studio review, and that's going to be a lot of fun as well. So Remember, you can also save 30% off on that record player that I was talking about. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, you guys geek out and party on, rock on, or light on with however you do it with Geekazine. So take care.